Alright, so now we're at the stage where we are going to take our layout. Since Rudy Comes Calling is more than 8.5 inches wide, it fits on 2 pages, I've gone ahead and taped the 2 pages together at the registration mark. I'm going to take the applique pressing sheet, and now I can see my design underneath it. I've taken all of my pattern pieces, and for the sake of speeding up this demonstration, I've already removed the paper off of most of them. But I'm going to start placing my applique templates in accordance with the layout. And the way that it works is the lowest letter of the alphabet gets laid first. So A is the stem of the tree. Now what I like to do is I don't glue down the whole piece because I might have to move it a little bit here and there. I just tap it in one spot or two, just enough to get it to stay in place. And then the next piece is going to be C. I believe this is B, D, and E. Basically, I'm going to layer them using that whatever is the lowest letter of the alphabet gets laid first. So this is my B, this is my C, this is D, and this is E. Now once I know I have them in the right spot, I will go ahead and adjust. This is not enough to fuse it down completely, but it's enough to hold it in place while I do the rest of the Rudy design. So then I know that the body, which is L, is going to go underneath it. I'm going to take right at the top, like I showed you before, and I'm going to puncture a hole, tear the paper, and then I'm going to remove it off. Lay that in place, and I'm just gently going to tap it in one spot there so that it's where it needs to be. And then I'm going to continue to layer the pieces. I'll remove them one by one. I take the paper off of the piece as I'm doing it so that I don't lose track of the letter of the template piece. So then I need his scarf. And we're going to do his face. The face where the eyes is at would go first. Alright, so now you're going to notice that in order for us to save some time on this demonstration, I've gone ahead and I've finished placing the pattern pieces. And now we're going to glue them to the applique pressing sheet. And notice I'm going to do the same thing I did when I fused the fusible web to the back of the fabric. I'm going to count out the number of seconds. I'm going to pick it up and place it. I'm not going to rub. I'm not going to go like this back and forth. I'm just merely going to place it and count the seconds. And I'm going to make sure that I've got the whole design fused to the applique. Notice I've left a few pieces here. Those are pieces that didn't actually touch any other fabric. Those will be pieces that I'll have to place on the background when I finish laying out my design. So then we're going to let this piece cool, and we'll come back to it in a minute. Alright, so our Rudy design is cooled. The applique pressing sheet is cooled to the touch, so I've started to pull the piece up. And notice that what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my seam ripper again, and I'll get underneath, because this is fairly delicate, some of these pieces, I get underneath pieces when they're close together, and I'm just going to pull it off, and I've already loosened up the antlers. So that's my piece. It's all going to stick together. It's going to be fairly all over the place because of the way the pieces are. But then I'm going to get my background fabric. Make sure that it's nice and ironed. And I'm going to lay my Rudy design on here. I'm going to get it centered. You can move this around quite a bit. It shouldn't fall apart if you have fused it well. It does take a little bit of massaging to get it into place. You want to make sure that you've got it where you want it. It will come off if you really had to get it off. You could go ahead and put the heat to it again and carefully peel it off. But you're better to get it in the right place the first time. Alright, and now we're at the fun part. We've taken the piece off of the applique pressing template, and I have laid my background and I have centered the design. So now we're going to do the same thing as when we glued the template to the back of the fabric. And we're going to press down with the iron and count out the seconds. Make sure we're doing what the fusible web manufacturer tells us to do. We're just going to lift and press. Lift and press. And lift and press. That's it. Now I have them both done, and we're ready for the next series, which is going to talk about stitching these down. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed this. Happy quilting.